But I've seen people who've broken bones, and a large part of the healing is needing to be off of that leg or arm and allowing it to rest and heal. And in that, you're being still. And that is very uncomfortable for some people. I'm one of those people.
My name is Atiya J, and this podcast was created as a way for me to discover and express my voice. In its development, it's become a beautiful creative platform for all of us to share and experience stories, and will bring you pause as you connect with the truth of your authentic self in their reflection. If you didn't understand that, this podcast is not for you. If you did understand, welcome. Enjoy the tea. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Tea Time Podcast. This your girl, Atiya J, a.k.a. TT, a.k.a. Tia. And we are back with another episode after a long time. As you can see, some things have changed for me. You can see I got a haircut and my hair is gone. I'm going to show y'all, for y'all watching, I'm going to show you what I asked for. And then you can see what he gave me. And the man did not get me what I asked for. He cut my hair all the way off. I wanted some type of curl on top. Lord. But shout out to that man. I appreciate him. He actually refunded me for the entire cut after I left because he said, look, that is not what you asked for. And if you paying this money, he gave me my $50 back. He said, if you paying $50, then you should get what you asked for. So shout out to that man. Shout out to the honesty. I appreciate it. I didn't know I could rock the real short look, and I can with my little pea head. So I am very grateful for everything. And today is June 14th, Saturday. Today is my birthday. I am 31 years old today. And I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about. I just needed to get back on the podcast. It's been bugging me probably for since November. So what's that? I think November is when I posted my last episode. And I've been being bugged in my soul, in my spirit, to share a podcast again. But your girl has been going through a lot. If you've seen me on Facebook, you see that I have posted that I am separated and I'm currently getting a divorce. It is done. It is complete. I'm not going into the story of everything. However, it was, we get to shift and morph our relationship now into a co-parenting relationship, which has its own set of difficulties. And I have support, and I need more support, but Matthew, he is a wonderful father, strives to be a wonderful father. So I am fortunate in that respect. I am a daughter of divorce, and I didn't grow up with my father. So I am grateful that Journey and Khalik, my babies, get to experience divorce in a different way. Because for me, it's not an option that because I'm emotionally distraught, that they don't get to see their father. Or that because he's emotionally distraught, that he doesn't come around, and I don't call him to come around, and I don't tell them to call him to come around because he's emotionally distraught. So, God willing, things will work out. We can develop this co-parenting relationship. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of attitude that I got. There's a lot of anger that I got. And I pray every day. And I am asking to open my heart and to find my compassionate side for him in this, because it is difficult. Wow, it's difficult.
Real quick, because I can be known to do this thing called spiritual bypassing, where I just jump to the next good thing instead of really sitting in the emotion of what it is that I just expressed. So yes, divorce and this transition in my life has been very difficult. I've felt extremely alone. I felt unloved by my family members. I felt unloved by, of course, my ex-husband. I felt unsupported. I've been in experiences where unjustifiably I have been unsupported, where that wrong has been done unto me, and where I can see where it was time for this relationship to be over, where I was using it as a way to avoid the growth, period that I am in, not consciously, of course, but subconsciously. And this transition, especially being supported by my spiritual life coaching community, shout out to IVISD. But I've learned so much, and I am still learning so much about myself. And so while it is extremely difficult, it is a blessing. I've had many conversations with guidance, with divine guidance, and to have been told that, your life falling apart is a blessing, because some people go throughout life 50 years old, 70 years old, and then they realize that the life that they created is not what's truly authentic to them. So me being 30 and 31, I am having the opportunity, while my children are still young, to realize that the life that I built is not authentic to who it is that I truly am. It's not authentic to my authentic self. That what I have been living, who I have been living as, is actually a machination of my mind so that I can people please and be approved of by my mother and by other people, so that I can be a good person in my head. So there are lots of things that have been transitioning, not just my marriage, but just me totally as a person, me in the ideas that I have for raising my children, me in the idea of that I have for me as a mother, me as a businesswoman, me as just who I am. A lot of transitions. So there is a new understanding. Divorce is not the greatest situation on paper, but I feel like Tia Mori a little bit. Like, wow, thank God. Yes. Divorce is what I need right now. And even in the process of the divorce, it took a lot of me trusting my gut, with no real reason, but just following Allah's guidance that came up in me and out of me, and that was repeated at me through lectures that Brother Minister Daniel and the National Center gave, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave, that I found on YouTube about separation and maintaining marriage and divorce. And following my gut, it felt so wrong to do because I had no evidence. And once I did it, number one, in my body, the pain was relieved. I had terrible pain in my back, in my gut. It was relieved once I separated myself and left my beautiful, 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 beautiful country home in Virginia that I love so much. Oh my God, I miss that house. But once I trusted my gut, once I left the house, once I got out of there, then I saw the evidence. And I have been praying. Oh my God, I've been building my relationship with Allah, building my relationship with God, building my relationship with the Creator, the Divine, or however you want to relate and speak about the source of our life. And let me tell you, thank Allah, thank God, because then it was shown to me what it is that my body was warning me about, what it is that my authentic self knew was happening in my home. That now was shown forth after I departed, with no evidence, just trusting myself, trusting my gut. And that is the lesson that I'm continuing to have to experience right now in my life. Continuing to trust myself, continuing to move forward. So this podcast and using my voice is a huge part of that. So in that, I am glad that I gave you a more vulnerable story. Perhaps we will do another podcast episode, maybe with somebody, about divorce. And I'll get more into not really the details of the story, but the details of the transition that it has been. Because there were moments I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know where I was going to eat. And Allah came through each and every time. And I've been praying that Allah be my sufficiency. It wasn't my parents. It wasn't anybody else, not my friends. And Allah worked through a lot of my family, through a lot of my friends. And so I'm very appreciative. It's still going. It's not over. I'm still in transition. I'm still in a space where, it's not the traditional lifestyle. So it's not like I'm working a job and now we stable and everything now. No, I live with my father and I'm very grateful. And I still have my dream of the country home. Lord, I went to the country the other day, and when I tell you how my soul like cried out, like, oh my God, this is where we're supposed to be, land. Soon as I drove into the country and I saw all the farm and the space, my entire soul was like, now that is funny. That's exactly what all that noise is what my soul made when I saw the country. And then I realized how much I really miss my damn house in Virginia and just being on the road, even living in a trailer. And now I'm like, I want to leave. I don't know where I want to go. Lord. That is my vision. That wasn't a me and a Matthew vision. That was my vision for how I want to live, how I want to be, trusting the guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, trusting the nature of me as an indigenous person of this land, as the original person, original people of this land, of this world, to get back to the land. And my soul craves that. That is a deep, deep desire and dream of mine. And I was almost there. And, you know, that was not the right driver. That was not the right partner in that life for me. So as I move forward, it's kind of scary, but I'm not moving forward with a partner. I'm moving forward as Atiya and really getting to know myself, learn myself, because a lot of what I thought I knew is not true. A lot of what I believed about myself is not quite that. And I'm learning myself daily. I'm learning myself hourly. I'm learning myself minute by minute, learning my terrible habits. I'm learning my strengths. I'm learning my areas of growth. And it's beautiful. And without this divorce, I would not be able to do that. And without the marriage, I would not be able to do this right here, this now moment. I wouldn't be at my father's house. I wouldn't have this relationship with my father that I'm developing now. So, you know, a prayer of mine from a little girl is to have both parents in my life. And now I have that. So look at the blessings of Allah. When he takes something away, he also gives another. When there's difficulty, there's ease on the way. So I'm grateful. It's still difficult. I still need support, especially financially. So support the podcast. Make sure you Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. I'll put the link in the bio. But supporting this podcast will, number one, support me in being able to focus on putting more episodes out. And number two, being able to take care of child care so that I could actually have a quiet area to record, not at 3 a.m. in the morning or whatever time it may be. There, as you know, as people who live, there are lots of components, lots of difficulties. So I appreciate any and all support that I get from all of you. All the support that I get from all of my listeners of the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to it. Download an episode, listen to the full podcast so that I can get my hours in, so that I can open up subscriptions on my streaming platform or my distribution platform. That would be very supportive. And also listen to the Talking Place podcast. I'm also a podcast producer. However, getting back to the original episode, I just had to add in that piece because slippage and spiritual bypassing has been until today a profession of mine. Like, oh yeah, this bad, terrible thing is happening and I'm good though. I got over it. No, Tia. A part of my vision, it is I've been able to identify what pulls me forward in this life. And I am using this vision as my focus so that I can co-create my new lifestyle right now, because everything has fallen apart. I, Atiya Jelani Ibawi Mwanga Gilmo Muhammad, am committed to co-creating an expressive world as I fulfill my role in God's universal mission, as I live in harmony with life and the truth of my authentic self by being obedient, vulnerable, and creative. Now that is a high mission and requires me to be obedient to my heart, to what I hear, to my gut, like I did when I left my household, that beautiful country home in Virginia that was just so beautiful and perfect. But I left it trusting my gut, being obedient to my heart. Vulnerable, which is a video like this, cutting in where I'm spiritually bypassing and putting in the vulnerability, because that's the truth of who I am. That's the truth of this podcast. That's why I started this podcast, so I could speak like this. more like this instead of just bypassing everything, right? Showing and expressing myself as authentic, as mature, as emotional, as real, as necessary, as worthy. I am worthy. I'm worthy of expressing myself vulnerably in every situation, all the time, anytime. That's what I get to do. That's freedom. And wow, creative. So creative is another piece that really pulls me forward, because I've been looking to jobs. I've been looking to, where should I go now? Who should I work for? I'm creative. It's in my vision to be creative. And in that doesn't mean I'll never work for someone again. But right now, where I am in my life, as I'm building, as I'm healing, I've been told by God, you are in a moment of healing. Relax. Which is very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Because I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I'm not doing something. Even if the activity that I'm doing is not yielding any positive results for me and it's just exhausting me out. So yeah, that's part of the healing. That's, if you ever have broken a bone, I never have, but I've seen people who've broken bones, and a large part of the healing is needing to be off of that leg or arm and allowing it to rest and heal. And in that, you're being still. And that is very uncomfortable for some people. I'm one of those people. Thank God I've never broken a bone. Inshallah, I never will. And these broken emotions and this broken authenticity is probably worse than breaking a bone. At least I can see the progress with the bone. But this broken authenticity is something that, number one, I thought was fixed. I didn't know that there was a broken authenticity and realness within me. I'm thinking I'm just here. I'm living how I should. So yeah, being creative. So in that's where this podcast come from. I've been wanting to drop a podcast for so long. And then there's been the fear and the lack of confidence of my voice, of what it is that I can do, and also the fear of being open with you all. Because I am in such a vulnerable position. And making Allah sufficient is just trusting where I am, trusting what my heart desires, actually putting into action my creative ideas, my podcast ideas, and moving forward. Because the truth of myself is that if I trust in Allah, Allah got me. That's just the truth. If I am Allah, if I am God, right, then all I need to do is be obedient, vulnerable, and creative, and everything is going to be taken care of. That's making Allah my all-sufficiency. And that is my prayer. That is what I'm working on, trust me, diligently, every day. So in that, let me stop this clip. This has become a very long clip, and let me get back to what I previously recorded. That was day 1, 31-year-old Tia. This is like day, what's this? Today is July 1st. So this is day 16. 31-year-old Tia. Look at how much wisdom came in just those few days. Boom. All right, peace.
And I've been doing great. So shout out, happy birthday to me. Happy 31st birthday. I did got beautiful experience. As you may not know, but I'm still in my spiritual life coaching course that I started last year. Around this time, I was enrolling into it. And spiritual life coaching has, I don't know if it's transforming my life or my life is transforming, and it is the perfect support system while I'm in that, and it's teaching me my relationship, not teaching me what my relationship with Allah is, but it is guiding me in, let's say the relationship with God is like jumping out of a plane. But you got to go through the whole process. You got to sign up for the skydiving. You got to learn what skydiving is. You got to sit through the tutorials that they give you before they strap you up. You got to get strapped up to have the right equipment so that you can get on the plane. They're going to teach you what that equipment does and what they want you to do with it. They're going to tell you who your instructor is and who's going to be jumping with you. Then they're going to lead you to the plane. They're going to give you a little speech from the pilot about trust and there are steps to this thing, right? You don't just jump on the plane and go skydiving. So in my relationship with God, spiritual life coaching has been extremely supportive in guiding me in my personal relationship with God, my everything. God is the sky, God is the skydiving, God is the plane, the pilot, the person strapped onto you, helping you to parachute. God is everything. And this is more than a program, but this what I said yes to is a prayer answered in my relationship with Allah personally, because I'm just learning a whole lot about myself. I'm able to see a whole things about myself that I ignored or that I would run away from. It's completely life transformative. And for me, in my experience, I believe that my life is in a period of transformation, and Allah put this program right here, right now for me, so that I had the supports, I had the sisterhood, I had the coaches, I had the teachers, the guides to support me in this transformation. Because you see how my hair is all cut off? I ain't even asked for all of that to be cut off. That's my life right now. That's my life. Ever since I turned 30, literally last year, June 14th, 2024, I turned 30. I was excited. With me and the family, we had the trailer. We were heading to Texas to live in Texas in our trailer and eventually get a home when Matthew got a job. And June 15th, that trailer, the floor blew out of it. Like, it all crashed. It's like, Tia's 30. Time to cut her off from the things that are not for her. And that floor of the trailer blew out, and it shifted everything. And I really began to experience and really see where my life was. I really began to really experience myself again. Because before that, I had been on autopilot just for my children, for the family that I was building, what I thought a family was and needed to be. To be completely honest, a huge part of why I got married is a responsibility of it. I got pregnant with Journey, and so clearly me and Matthew are going to need to get married. And that was the basis of that decision. Not necessarily because we courted well, and not necessarily, we had wonderful chemistry and great time. However, if I'm being honest with myself, the true reason why I got married was so that it can look like Tia got married, she's doing the right thing, she's pregnant, she's not pregnant out of being married. And that's just the truth, man. So in me turning 30, all of that broke apart. All of the facade, and it's still happening. It's not like I'm just completely authentic and living my best life right now. No, not at all. There is a lot shedding away. Just like I had all that hair yesterday, and it's all gone. It's all gone. And that's my life. I had all of this. I knew what I was doing. I knew how, in my head, I knew how I worked. I knew who I was. And right now, I have no freaking idea who I am. I am learning. I'm learning myself. I'm relearning myself. I am in the midst of financial struggle, striving and asking Allah every day how it is that God would have me to take care of myself in this moment, because I have neglected the mess out of myself. And I believe that's actually why I got the refund because it was a struggle to pay for the haircut, because financially I got bills. And God has told me, you need to stop just thinking about your bills. You need finances to take care of yourself. So I stretched and I got the haircut because I really wanted it. And my mom has the children right now, so I'm able to go into the barbershop without my baby screaming. And I got the haircut. And I was just so grateful that I was able to have that experience. I saw that my barber did not do what I wanted to my head. I was very confused because this is not at all what I showed him. I'll show y'all the picture again. But I was just grateful for the experience. It felt so good to have somebody wash my hair. It felt so good to have all of that weight off of my head. It was wonderful to be able to treat myself. And then I got a refund. I know that's a lie. Look at that. Yeah, man. So I've decided that I'm going to shift the title of this series that I'm doing in the podcast. It was called Conquering Fear. And I had the realization maybe a month ago now, that conquering fear is not the way that I need to approach life in this moment, right? Whenever we conquer something, let's look up the definition of conquer. Y'all know I love definitions, and we're gonna get right back to it in the same way that we always used to do it. Conquer means to gain or acquire by force of arms, to overcome by force of arms, to gain mastery over or win by overcoming obstacles or opposition, to overcome by mental or moral power, to be victorious. So that's conquering. And we all know how conquering is used, those who conquered the natives in America, or conquer the conquering that's going on now in the world. But I'm going to leave that one alone for guidance that I receive on that. But what came to my heart and mind is the word embrace. Change it to embracing fear, Tia. Definition of embrace is to clasp in the arms, hug, cherish, love. To encircle or enclose. To take up, especially readily or gladly. To avail oneself of. To take, now this is the big part for me. To take in or include as a part, item, or element of a more inclusive whole, to be equal or equivalent to. So that definition, to take or include as a part, item, or element of a more inclusive whole, was so important to me. It stuck out so much. In my study of Allah, of God, of divine mind, oneness is key. The principle of oneness. And the principle of oneness says that I am, and you are, and I am, and God is, so I am, so you are. So everything that we experience, every person that we see, everything that is happening even in the world right now is God. All of it is God. God is divine mind. God is the force, the power, the life behind, within, around everything. God is this book. God is my phone. God is this lavender. God is everything. And that principle of oneness showed up when I read this definition, because embracing fear, I got a wise sister who told me that fear and faith are sisters. And this was told to her by our coach. Our coach told us this. Yeah, she did. Fear and faith are sisters. And fear and faith walk hand in hand. So you can't have faith without fear. And you can't have fear without faith. So conquering fear, I want to get rid of it. I wanted to get rid of fear. I'm done with it. I don't want to be afraid. If I'm still afraid, then there's something wrong. I didn't conquer what it is that I needed to conquer, and we're going to have to redo this. This not happening the way that it should. Embracing fear is to include fear as a natural part of the whole. Fear is faith. Faith is fear, right? There's light and there's shadow. There's light and darkness. There's day and there's night. And it's all one, because it all works in tandem, and it's all divinely ordered by Allah. So embracing fear, oh God, I got to embrace. I've been embracing fear this year, okay? Y'all don't even know. I don't know if I'm ever going to get into the little story details of me separating and everything that I've been through, but this has been a 6-month process, y'all. Beyond that, this has been a year process, y'all. Everything that I thought was my life is not. It's not. It just isn't. No. It's just like, cancel, delete. It's like a refund. I feel like my life is on refund right now. Like, oh, we was moving. I was paying my way. Psych. Nah, you can have the money back. That's not you. That's not you, boo-boo. Take it back. And I'm laughing because there's just been so much. This has been such an emotional ride. However, when this hit me, embracing fear, embracing the parts of myself that still don't want to be my authentic self, embracing the parts of myself that are still angry and resentful against Matthew and against my father and against my mother and against different people, my family, different things, embracing that, because all of these parts of me are a part of the whole. Taking it outside, right? Ooh, and this is difficult. This is a difficult one for me. When it comes to the events that we see, it comes to the leadership that we see in the world right now, embracing that as a part of the whole. Now, this does not mean that we need to embrace and to accept terrible behavior. We all know what positive and negative, or we all know what behavior honors us. We all know what behavior honors morals, and we all know what behavior honors the love. The standard principle of life is love, right? We should be moving in love, honoring and respecting ourselves and other people, because that's just what life is. That's why Allah put us here on this earth, not to be conquering and subjugating and attacking ourselves nor other people. So when we move in love, in the principle of love, we don't accept anything that is unlike who we are. We don't accept anti-love. We don't accept hate. We don't accept killing unjustly, right? We don't need to accept while embracing. However, embracing the events of this leadership, of the events of the world as a reflection, and I've heard Mama Ia say this, a reflection of the consciousness of the world, right? What areas in me are at a meaningless war right now? What areas within me are conquering other parts of me, right? Trying to conquer other parts of me instead of embracing and accepting as a whole these parts. And how could that happen? Could there be peaceful talks? Could there be inner conversations and inner alignment that can happen within me that would create a more peaceful existence for myself? And then everybody without me, because who I am on the inside is going to reflect in what is happening on my outside, even within my relationships and other people. But I need to be clear and aligned in myself. And that takes a lot of work. That takes some healing. That takes awareness, acknowledgement, and acceptance of the things that I've been running away from and avoiding about myself. So this, I hope that makes sense for everyone. But this is it's a quick understanding of embracing versus conquering. Because conquering, if you try to conquer me, I'm gonna fight back always. But if you embrace me, I'm thinking of, I heard the story the other day of, I forget who I was talking to, but somebody's son, he was going off and they needed to just embrace him. Oh, I know who it was. Yes. They needed to embrace their nephew, right? Because their nephew was resentful and angry and these emotions flared up. But instead of trying to conquer those emotions and beating the child, they embraced their nephew. And then if you can hear it in my voice that when you embrace something or a person, they can't help but to just relax, but to just drop their arms, just to drop down and surrender. And that is what I pray for. I've been praying for surrender. I've been praying for divine flow, for free flow. I've been praying for a lot, y'all. And my answers to the prayers have been coming pretty swiftly and easily, actually. And yeah, I really, there's no specific topic for this podcast episode. I am just very grateful to see year 31. I'm grateful to be 31 years old today. My journey is not over. This has been clearly, it's been a 31-year journey. However, the difficulty, the shedding, the letting go in my life has started on June 14th last year. And it has not stopped. I have not had one day where there wasn't some type of letting go since then. And I can smile right here, right now, because I know God got me. I know who I am in Allah. I am striving to accept my own and be myself. And that has nothing to do with anybody. It has nothing to do with any group. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Who I am is me and Allah. And I'm striving to be able to walk in that more and more openly, transparently, and vulnerably every day. It is in my vision to create an expressive world. So no wonder I was itching to do this podcast. My throat literally hurts every day because I have something to say. And I just appreciate all of you all who are listening, who have listened through this entire podcast, who wish me happy birthday. I appreciate all of my family, my friends, and my loved ones. I hope to be back on the radio waves, the podcast waves, more consistently. Consistency is it's an area of growth for me. Consistency, discipline, yes, punctuality. These are all areas of growth for me. So these are things that will be supportive, not only in my podcast, however, in, being separated and divorcing, I worked a lot, Lord. However, I was a stay-at-home mom. So now me being single with my children, if y'all have any type of support, please let me know. But I actually got put onto, it is called asynchronous work, is what I need so that I'll be able to take care of my children. I will be seeking, daycare support and everything too. However, my children are still very young. So asynchronous work is the type of work that I'm seeking. I already am producing another podcast, so I am now a podcast producer as well as producing my own. Shout out to the Talking Place podcast. It is a beautiful podcast, two sisters in the kitchen talking soul. So shout out to them, check it out. It is a part of my production now, Atiya J Productions. And I am seeking other ways to use my skills, to use my talents in flexible ways that work for me. Asynchronous work, by coaching. Y'all, I'm in spiritual life coaching school right now. However, I am already a certified life coach. And life has been lifing. So there has been a lot of wisdom that I have learned, a lot of techniques that I have learned to support me. So if you feel that you are in a stuck position, or you feel that everything that you know is being stripped away from you, come take a pause with me, A Course of Action LLC. I am here to support you in your journey. Not to tell you which way to go, however, to support you in your journey so that you know there are tools, there are principles, there are skills, and there is a relationship with the divine that you have that can make even the shedding away something that you can smile about, like me, because it's not a fake smile. There's some crazy stuff still going on, but it's not a fake smile. So, yes. So if anybody needs a coach, if anybody needs a podcast produced, if you need some photography, I'm in Newcastle, Delaware now. So South Jersey, shout out. Let me know what is up. And it is my birthday. So if you want to send me a birthday gift, you can feel free to Zelle me. You can feel free to Cash App me. You can feel free to Venmo me. Please send your gifts of appreciation for the podcast too. But the podcast is something that I am striving to be consistent in, and this is my mode of expression that I love. So there are more things coming. I have 20,000 million ideas, and I'm prioritizing my self-care. I'm prioritizing my children. I'm prioritizing being in the position so that I can even create. And I haven't done that in the past, and it is very uncomfortable because it requires me to be patient and to sit in stillness instead of running out and getting what I think I need. So In that being said, a part of my self-care is this podcast. So if you could support me by sending a Cash App, if you could support me with Zelle, you are supporting me, you are supporting my children, you are supporting this transition in my life right now. So I appreciate any type of monetary support. I will be on platforms soon where you'll be able to subscribe to me. I'm shifting the platform where I was publishing this podcast. So a lot of things are shifting and changing in my life right now. But again, I got 50 seconds on the camera. Happy birthday to me. I'm 31 today, June 14th, Saturday, 2025. Life has been lifing, and I am grateful for all of the life that I've experienced. Shout out to my support systems. Shout out to the ones I love and who love me. Shout out to my children, my babies growing up so well. And I will see you on another episode. Remember, we are no longer conquering fear. We are embracing fear. We're embracing, we're accepting. And that is the shift. I love y'all. Peace.